RTD Live Talk, Detroit's number one late night YouTube talk show. We are live. Excited to be back after an extended couple days off, and looking forward to checking in and finding out what's on your mind, as well as sharing with you a couple articles that caught my attention today. And we'll talk about it a little bit and dive further. So, as always, more news, more stories out there than one individual can cover. That's why it's great to have one of the livest and the most well-informed community out there. So appreciate you guys for joining me. And so, as always, if we have any new viewers to the channel, let me know where you're watching from. We'd love to acknowledge your presence as well as find out where you're watching from. So we got Loving Life checking in from Texas. We got Avocado Joy. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Appreciate you for tuning in. As always, any new viewers, let me know where you're watching from. And then I'm going to share a couple articles with you and then open up the phone lines. And I want to hear from you guys and let me know what's going on. How was your weekend? Everything in between. And so, of course, outside of all the drama, but just unfortunate news that took place over this holiday weekend, a lot of tragedy, a lot of deaths, and a lot of violence to be expected. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. These are the times we're in, and we're going to keep pushing right along and pray for the best, prepare for the worst. We got Philman. How you doing, Shirley? We got One Man Army. Says news, crypto is king. End of transmission. Okay. Crypto. I wouldn't say king. I would say crypto is runner up, but definitely get your weight up. So that's just my personal philosophy. We got Simon from New Zealand. How you doing, my friend? Long White Cloud. Kenan Haywood says, "What's up, brother? Low blood pressure is asking great questions on liberty and finance, as always, to be expected." We got Vegas from Carolina. Charles from Atlanta. Charles, man, give me the rundown on what's happening in your city. I got an article here talking about some troops are coming. National Guard is coming to your area, man. Let me know what it's like on the ground there. Richie from Australia. We got Australia in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. Philman says questions. When you coming down to the Bay Area? Great question. As of right now, nothing is in the works as far as making any trips out to that region. But definitely, I would love to do that. And actually, that right now is probably the best time, so I can check into that, man. Let me know. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. I'm okay with doing something like that. We got Toronto in the building. Charles will do. What's up, Mike JB? Okay, so let me stop ranting. I want to dive right into it, and as well as acknowledge us the gift to the channel from JS is prepare 100%, my friend. I appreciate you for your love contribution to the channel. Okay, so let me get into a couple articles, man, and then we're gonna open the phone lines up, and I want to hear from you. And the best part about it is the articles that I'm not able to touch on, just subject wise. Let me know what else is on your radar. That's what I want to find out. So I got to probably, what's on your radar? What are you keeping an eye on? What are some things that you're following that may not be mainstream just yet? So here's the first article that I wanted to touch on. It says Kemp to deploy 1,000 National Guard troops after a violent weekend. And so outside of me hearing about Chicago and, of course, Atlanta, I'm not quite sure where else, things were really jumping off at. But it's good to say there's other places. Says Natural Mama says National Guard coming to North Carolina as well. Really? And so what cities in North Carolina are they expected to appear in, or just be on guard for the whole state itself? We got hyperstagflation is coming. Hyperstagflation. I definitely see that. I definitely see something like that. So once again, I'm not gonna say amazing, but what's so interesting about the time period we're in now is that there's so many things unraveling at an accelerated pace to where it's really hard to keep tabs on everything. Of course, we got the monetary issues, we have the fiscal issues, like the government that I heard based upon current actions at this current moment, we're running a deficit. I think I heard about $6 trillion by the end of this year or something like that. And then we have political chaos. And so once again, we got Kanye West and Brock Pierce, and we got everybody talking about running for president. And other than just me hearing about it, I haven't dived into it. But it's just a lot of Yeah, man. Like this is interesting stuff, man. Like anybody out there going to vote for Kanye West or Brock Pierce or so? Yeah, like I'm not sure how that's going to play out. I don't follow the political realm and that deeply to find out how is it even possible for somebody to just jump in and so-called claim they're going to run for president. But if anybody know how that goes, feel free to call in when it's time. All right, so go ahead, 1800 by tomorrow. I don't doubt it. Not really too excited for that just yet because, with all this chaos I just mentioned, I'll be fine with suppressed prices for a little bit longer so that it just, allows us to, be able to acquire more. But I'm going to jump right in and stop ranting. So forgive me for that. But article caught my attention. So short little video here. It talks about basically the governor here is going to deploy 1,000 troops, looks like in 3 areas in the city of Atlanta. We got the governor's mansion. We got what else? Another area, 2 other areas. Let me see. I saw it here in the video. But it says, but she is sure at least 93 people were shot. At least 93 people were shot in Atlanta between May 31st, roughly, George Floyd protests, and June 27th. So this is just bad news all the way around, man. But yeah, this is what just made headlines more so because of the young girl, 8-year-old girl was shot and killed, and so I saw the mayor of Atlanta today just condemning those actions and basically saying that it's one thing to protest, but it's another thing to stir on stuff like that lead to those type of shootings. So curious to get your thoughts on this, man. Is this just something that the media is going to blow up? But there's other incidents, such as Chicago as well, and I'm sure other cities that's not really been mentioned. But curious to get your thoughts on this issue here. What else says the political elites will make sure that Biden gets elected, and I don't doubt that as well. And that's one of the things where I'm of the mindset, and I remember like over this past weekend, especially talking to my family, I'm like, no matter what, whether it's Trump or Biden, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be people pissed on either side because everybody's going to feel that they were done wrong. And that's why I'm more so concerned with what happens between today and that time frame. Because once again, if there's any chance of Trump gaining momentum, still out here talking about, even today on Twitter, he was talking about the equities markets of all kinds at all-time highs and saying something about, if Biden wins, do you expect your 401ks and pensions to be gone? I'm thinking like, well, anywhere it go, at the end of the day, they're going to be gone. It's just more so whether it's going to be immediately or it's going to be a long, slow erosion like it has been, because once again, it's denominated in the national currency. So, I mean, he won't say that, but Trump's a gold man. He know what's up. It says they are deploying troops to protect the Atlanta Fed building. Really? That's interesting. So, let me see here. In this video here, it mentions the actual areas that they're. Okay, so here, I'll put this on the screen here. So here's just a little short clip. It said the National Guard troops will be dispatched to 3 locations in the city: the state capitol, the governor's mansion, and the vandalized Department of Public Safety building. So, Charles, you said that it's the Atlanta Fed building. And so if that was the case, or if you actually, or whoever's in Atlanta right now, if they can get some footage, don't go out of your way of, but if you're out and about and you see some boots on the ground near the Fed building, feel free to take some pictures of that, because once again, that's not what we're being told on the mainstream, but yet I wouldn't doubt if that was the case. But also keep in mind that the Federal Reserve have their own private military in a sense. So are they requesting extra boots on the ground or what? And so I've seen other commentators mention that in all the states that have a central bank in them, or a branch of the Federal Reserve, which is 12 regional banks, and then there are some subsidiaries of those banks as well. And in all those states, as well as some cities that there's major unrest, they happen to be in areas where the Federal Reserve is located at. And a person was saying basically that they're not surprised if the Federal Reserve is inciting that, and possibly somehow, some way, it was strategically done that those cities have those issues, because I think all those major cities are the ones that we saw with the bricks that's just randomly placed out in the streets as they protested, some fresh piles of bricks and stuff like that. So But yeah, I'm curious to find out what anybody in Atlanta, if they can get some footage of that, I would definitely love to see that. I think the world would love to see that. What else we got here? We got Dexter Davis, hi Mike and family. We got Cleveland, Ohio, crap loading on shootings and deaths. Really, crap load of shootings and deaths. Cleveland. Okay, thanks for chiming in with that one. I'm thinking Trump's doing a great job for the elites. Doing a great job. And that's one of those things where, depending on what band camp or what side of the, not what side of the aisle, but what bandwagon you're on. And so there's all types of different Trump fans, supporters, you name it, that have different stories as to how he's doing good, how he's doing bad. Yeah, at this current moment, good or bad, the Federal Reserve has already sealed the fate of our country as far as what I'm anticipating this next decade to look like. And it's literally going to, once inflation officially kicks in the main economy, where it's going to be an increase in the goods and services that we require on a daily basis, that's when all hell breaks loose. And that's where it basically is going to be a major downgrade of our living standards. And I remember talking years ago about how it wouldn't be too far-fetched to see the United States downgraded living standards to the second, third world status. Because once again, there's going to be more than enough currency going around, but not enough goods and services to where there's going to be a definite paradigm shift in how we live and the way we prioritize and what we even value. Like I've seen a lot of things over the last couple of days as far as, especially being in the Metro Detroit area, automotive. So cars and a lot of, we got a company near Ann Arbor here that has an electric truck. And so a lot of publicity for that electric truck. And I'm thinking like, not too many people, the majority of people are not really concerned really with what they're driving right now. So yeah, okay. I'll leave that alone. But anyway, definitely keep us up to date. If you are located in a city where there's a lot of violence and unrest and some crime and high murder rate, feel free to let us know where that is, because outside of what the mainstream media tells us, that's all we're able to pull up on the front page rather. So here's a different article here. I thought this was a direct result of the true economy. This was on Zero Hedge, and it says low income household crushed by the current pandemic inflation shock. And basically what it boils down to is, now that over 40 million plus, give or take, still counting, and everything else is not counted, everyone's been impacted in some form or fashion to where everyone's had to adjust their daily budget, because more people are probably at home now, or kids are not active as they used to be. So when it comes to your daily household budget, groceries, your consumer bills, your energy, gas, all those things are probably up a little bit, which, it erodes away some of that disposable income that people typically would have if this was a full-fledged summer. Everybody's out and about doing what they normally do. And so this is, as they're saying here, the result of the imbalance in our economy as a result of the pandemic. But yet people were struggling well before this time. But a couple interesting stats here. But by show of hands or thumbs up or whatnot, for those that are tuning in, I'm curious. On the home front for some of you guys, food budget. I know for sure my food budget has gone up. I have, children that, are eat more than they growing boys. So anyway, but yet food bills going up. I know, everything's going up for the most part. And so I know I'm not the only one out there. But anybody out there, actually, bills or living expenditures can, kind of remain the same or actually went down because of this? Let me know. Okay, let me get to some comments here. I want to call it tonight so badly. I have some good points to make. All right, Bar Lake Broker, feel free to do so. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a minute. We can do that. We said we need to stop using fiat and send all money back to the Fed. I would be willing to do that if it wasn't still legal tender, that all of my all the bills and all that stuff wasn't still due in. So if I could get around that, I would definitely not mind doing that. Dexter say, well, where's Mr. Low Blood Pressure? Matters are on the launch pad. Definitely. What else you got here? It says, I am so sick of this crap. I'm not going to bother to call in tonight. we're being lied to. Either we rise up and fight, resist, preach, do something. Then it's just hot air. Very true, Fat Slim. That's what it is, man. But it takes a unified effort. And so it's one of those things we comply or resist. And right now, because the division amongst the different, the division of this country in general, everyone's so divided on all types of things. We got the people who are politically divided on the left and right paradigm. You have people who are not necessarily concerned with politics right now because their financial situations has changed. And so I'd imagine the people who have been severely impacted by lack of work, lack of hours, or whatever, they're not really concerned with the presidential election. They're more so concerned with the next round of stimulus is coming and probably, not being able to pay their rent, mortgage, or whatever. So a lot of people are well beyond distracted to where it's hard to formulate a single thought or a single rallying cry, because we all know it's the Federal Reserve, it's central banking model, it's just debt in of itself based upon how the system operates. But unless we all are willing to get up and go to the feds and stand outside and pitch a fit and, demand outright the end of the Fed or something else, it's going to be a lot of talk and hot air. But the biggest thing is majority of the population is still asleep. So I think it's our responsibility, if you are awake, to still be able to share information with those and basically point people in the direction to better prepare. That's the biggest thing you can do, because we're not going to, at this point, I'm more than convinced we're not going to be able to stop much, but we can slow down within our own families, within our own communities. And then eventually, if we can get some type of truth out of all this somehow, some way, then we can probably thwart some of the plans of those that are trying to orchestrate this to the T. And so here's something that's worth talking about. The young lady, J.E., Mr. Epstein's right-hand girl, Maxwell, whatever her name is, Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I'm of the mindset, I'm not sure what the FBI or whatever, why they waited so late or how this is all coming about, but we'll find out what comes about from this. But here's the thing. They said everybody's scared. A lot of wealthy, powerful men are scared. Right. Until I see some people being brought to justice, some real names being called out, I won't take it for much. But it's stuff like that. If there are some, as people want to say out there, there's good guys out there that's fighting on our behalf. If there are some good guys out there, we'll be able to tell by these type of things here. Like if this chick comes out and rats and got some tapes and some all types of audio, then it'll be good to hear some names, because outside we know Bill Clinton, we know Bill, we know the Prince and Andrew, we know a lot of Hollywood has been caught up in all that stuff. But until there's some people that's being carried away in handcuffs, we just, just gonna go watch this thing burn slowly, man. So anyway, enough of me ranting. It says, Philman says, question, capitalism is failing, and what new system do you think needs to be put in? If capitalism again, then will we get the same corrupt behavior? Ooh, capitalism. Man. Capitalism is being tainted. Painted and tainted is a very negative and lopsided concept, because of central banking model makes capitalism looks like it's one-sided as opposed to an equal opportunity for everybody. The reason I say that is because all the left and right as well, they are more so government down. They want to be in control of everything, and capitalism doesn't start with the government, because government don't produce a single thing other than debt and promises. So socialism, fascism, all the other isms will be brought up to the forefront, especially from Mr. Biden. And Trump, on the other hand, he loves capitalism because it's he's one of the people that takes advantage of debt. And so given the fact that this system has already eroded to the point where it's just a matter of time now, we're like literally on the last thread of something before something goes belly up. But yet I don't know what will come next, because capitalism will not work for the majority, because everyone has been conditioned to think that you have to depend on somebody else to pay your bills and provide for you, as opposed to creating opportunities for yourself. So I don't see capitalism being brought up. Now you have some people in the crypto community sector, predominantly those that are, pro Bitcoin. They'll say, that If everybody can get a slice of that pie, then there'll be opportunity. But yet, once again, that's just something to do with actual or currency or wealth in of itself. It doesn't really produce anything outright. So not sure what comes next, but I know what they would like to have in play, and it happens to be with more government, less control. So here's another thing I was thinking about earlier. And, this is something that's been on my mind the last couple of days, especially the concept of the American dream. And so the American dream died officially, a couple of decades ago. But for the millennials and younger, we're at a point now where there's only two things left. We're supposed to be the land of the brave, home of the free, land of the brave, or whatever, however that goes. But yet right now, both of those are at stake, because when it comes to our freedom, with all this health scare situation, that's really going to infringe on our rights even more. And mind you, what's going on now is meant to be a drawn out process. They said 18 months. So think about this. We're only on 4 months. So between now and then, we're going to be introduced to a whole lot of new concepts that will further cause panic and scare. And all it takes is time for people to adapt to these concepts that's being thrown out. 6 feet is normal now. I mean, everybody talk about 6 feet. People still wearing masks like crazy. Now, today, I'm seeing stories talking about this current situation we're experiencing is mutated now, and now it's not necessarily respiratory, it's vascular now, where it's causing blood clots, and it's, so we hear all types of stuff now. And so it's going to be hard for people to continue to remain hopeful for change, to where no freedom. And when it comes to being able to fight, a lot of people, I'd imagine, sooner than later will crumble to the fact that you're not going to be able to fight much if you are not in a position where you're financially able to support yourself or sustain yourself. So you're going to give in. So socialism. And what else we got here? Communism for the 1% and rugged individualism for the poor, huddled masses. Yeah. So that's what it is, man. But anyway, I got a couple more articles. But before I keep ranting, I want to hear from you guys. So let me see if I can open up the phone lines and give me a call. Let's talk. I want to hear from you guys. What else is out there worthy of news but doesn't get much airplay? Let's talk about it. And so Philman says, American dream, more like the Israeli dream. So American dream, I heard people say the American nightmare. The way this country is so divided, I'm questioning whether or not it will be actually considered America pretty soon. Like, I can see, within the next 10 years, there's going to be some definite shifting of power. I can see states going head with the government, with the federal government. And yeah. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Let me hear from you guys. Okay, question says, did you know the U.S. government is technically a company? U.S. government died in 1871. If you look at the back of a dime and the symbol of fascism. I heard about that, and I haven't really dived much into it because as of now, I don't think it really does much good for that type of information. But hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure. Corpus Christi. How's it going?
I'm good, my friend. A lot of people requested you in the chat. How you doing, man?
Really? Wow. I just got home from work, man. Nothing, man. Let's check this out, man. I went to the gas station. Mm-hmm. And it said exact change only. So I just let them keep the change, whatever I bought. But anyways, I talked to the young lady. I was like, hey, well, what's going on? She says, they only gave me one roll of quarters, the bank said, and that's it. No dime, no nothing, just one roll of quarters. And then I'm like, well, what's going on? She goes, oh, it's because of COVID, because they shut down the mint, And I'm telling her, lady, every freaking quarter is not a 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I got a thing of change, and not all 2020. Yeah. So how did 1 month of the mint shutting down shut down the entire system? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, man. So clearly that's a situation where, for the powers on high, the first installment of this cashless push happens to be with the coinage. And so once again, I think as all the banks were either closed or did very little business during our first 60 days or so, all those coins and whatnot was either told to be on hold or they were sent back to the mint or whatever, and there's probably like vaults and just all types of stuff of just coin is sitting there that was told to not move and circulate, causing this shortage. Because once again, I don't have any more change now than I did 4 or 5 months ago. So where did all that change go would be the question.
Exactly. And I told the lady, look, I said, look, you know what's going to happen? The dollars are next. Pretty soon they're going to tell you, I'm sorry, we don't have any 20s or 100s or 50s.
Yeah. So, yeah, and at that point, I think I think it'll be some time before actual paper, because in order to have the paper removed and be able to put it signs on your door, say no cash allowed or whatever, they're going to have that alternative payment system going, which I believe between now and next summer will definitely be rolled out. And then they'll probably throw out that cashless stuff. And by that time, people will be used to not having any change or only using their debit cards and willing to welcome that new QR code based cell phone app from their local bank or from the treasury or something like that for those stimulus payments. So, yeah, I think by round three of the stimulus injection, it's going to be coming directly to our phones.
Yeah, I don't know, my guys. Maybe we'll go back to pesos. I don't know. We'll see. or what do they call them? The Spanish dollar,
the meal dollar. Yeah, the dollar. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling, man.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Be good. Yeah, man. Good stuff. I appreciate you calling. Yeah, give me a call, man. Let's talk. What else on your mind? What else? What other newsworthy stories are out there that the mainstream media refuse to touch? Let's talk about those tonight. I saw something about that vaccine will cost $3,000. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to have people save up for that, especially if they don't want it. Hello, caller. What's the name? Where you calling from?
It's Jack from West Palm Beach.
Yes, sir. How you doing, my friend? What's in your mind? Give me some good news.
Hey, pretty good. Yeah, like your show. Great. A lot of retail closing down.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Payless shoes, they're gone. Tier 1 imports, they're gone. We got gyms closing down all over the place. We got H&M closing a bunch of stores. We got GNC closing 1,200 stores. All this unemployment. I mean, what are these people going to do? I mean,
yeah,
it's just out of this world.
Yeah, and so a lot of those retailers you mentioned, it's the news of them having issues. Basically, they all took on too much debt. They're not going to get enough foot traffic through the doors. And then you got to shift to retail online, e-commerce. So you factor all that in. That's not good environments for retail stores. But a lot of those stores were mentioning issues a year or two ago. So it's just so like right now, having shut down for 30 days or 90 days or whatever and trying to reopen, makes it that much more difficult. But once again, this is an orchestrated plan to break down America from the bottom all the way up to where people are looking up for their help, which happens to be the government and central bank. So it's all a part of their design plan, my friend.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. God bless.
Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for calling. Yeah, man. This is all a part of an orchestrated plan. And so none of this stuff is just by coincidence. And it's one of those things where we've been, for those that have been following the alternative media, everybody in alternative media realm have been covering this. And that's why, YouTube is doing a great job of trying to censor and silence everything. And so to be expected. But having known this for several years now, it's good to say a good portion of the audience have been able to position themselves a little bit better than they were had they had still been asleep at the wheel. So thank God for the manipulation of these markets that allows us to be able to acquire more silver and more anything else that you like that's undervalued. All right, what else we got here? It says infeminism. Yeah, that's not going anywhere, my friend. That's a part of the greater social construction or construct of equal rights and all those things that should be natural, but yet that's not something that's been brought to the forefront until recently, where I noticed, there's a lot more females in power, which is great, but yet that's all a part of an agenda in and of itself. And then what comes next is going to be the LGBTQ community. So we're going to have I think the mayor of Seattle I saw, when I was watching watching something, whatever, on the news. I really couldn't tell what I was watching. It was like, wow, like, so yeah, I'm leaving shut my mouth on that one. But so yeah, it's all a part of an agenda, and it's the destruction of just, yeah. I'm gonna leave it alone anyway. So let's hear from y'all, man. Yeah, Art of the Fed said it's going to get worse. More lost jobs, closing crime. I think food shortage this winter. Very true. I do as well. So everything we've witnessed over the first 90 days of this lockdown shutdown was a snippet as to what's going to ultimately become somewhat of the new norm. And what I mean by snippet was that when everyone first were told to stay home, immediate rush was to all the big box stores to stock up, not knowing what to expect. And so from that activity there, people got a chance to see what it's like on the streets when you don't know what lies ahead. You go out and grab a little bit of everything, and that's kind of what people have done. And now we're in the summertime, as a part of this whole health scare situation. They're actually closing down a lot of the meat plants. We all know that there was issues in agriculture well before now, and so it takes I'm not sure 100%, but it takes usually several months for things to catch up. And so this winter would be an ideal time frame where we have a shortage of all types of products that would typically be in circulation or being ready to be shipped out or brought into this country. And global trade, as we've known it, has shut down just because if you want to find out, go to your big box stores, look at the electronics department. I was in Myers yesterday. I went strictly to the electronics department. They had just the TVs on the wall. That was it. No extra TVs. I'm thinking like, so think about this. Look at Craigslist. I looked at Craigslist. All the things that usually were just other people's trash now carry a premium on it. So all the things that's important to you that you need in the long haul, better get it now, or I have already got it. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello, caller. Go on once.
This is Alan.
Alan, how you doing, my friend? What's on your mind?
Good. So I'm not going to talk about crypto this time, but we're talking about food shortages and everything like that. I think people should start looking at land and seeing if you got gold, you got your silver, land. If you even if it's just a place that you can go and you can stand on this property and say, this is what I own.
Yeah.
You want to think worst case about gold. You want to think worst case about silver. You need to think worst case about where can you go and stand and call your own.
Yeah.
With no debt, with no, other than maybe property taxes on it. So that's just something I want to throw out there for people. There's a lot of sites. There's Lands of America, Land and Farm. I'm not affiliated. I make no money, but I just use those sites.
Yeah.
And just check it out. Wherever I'm not going to, wherever you're comfortable to live, there's different climates, different whatever. But just people should start taking a look at land. And, it's an asset, and not making any more of it. So that's all I wanted to say to your audience. So hopefully some of them can start looking into some of that.
Good deal, my man. And as you're speaking, I actually pulled up the Lands of America right now, so I have it on the screen here.
Yep.
So definitely, I will check this out. And as well as if anybody else out there have any tidbits that they want to drop in as far as a site or anything of that nature in regards to this, feel free to let us know in the chat or give me a call. We'd definitely love to bring it to the forefront so people can find out where to go and where to do their homework at. So appreciate it, man.
And I purchased a lot of the site is like a reseller of resellers, so people who resell land.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind just walking through people, just sort of the things to consider when you're buying land. Like I said, I make no money. I have no affiliation with the site. It's just a useful site, but just things that you can consider because I've been through the process several times. So, maybe one day we can do something like that or whatever. You can do it, doesn't matter. But just putting out there for your audience, I think, sort of precious metals, you can, when you want to get out there, you want to get away from people.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. Think about, it's not about the city, but you might want to get out, further out, 50 miles from anyone.
Go out in the sticks.
Cheap, all that stuff. So,
yeah.
All right, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you, man. Looking forward to connecting again,
all
man.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
All right, be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, drop us in the chat if you guys know where to acquire land or do some research on whatnot. Definitely want to find out more. It says, read the contract. Don't let the bank get it. Real estate went higher because people are fleeing the cities. And so here's something that, let me see here. Here's a place you may not want to necessarily live at this current moment. Let me pull this up. I saw this article earlier. Let me see if I can find it. And also, I got a couple other articles I might want to get to, but there's an article here about New York. And so as of now, real estate in New York is not doing too well because everybody's fleeing the city. And that's one of the things where, you know, New York in normal times is a great place to visit. But that's one of the things where I never want to, I never really enjoyed, I never could see myself living there long term. And so, let me see. There's a couple of articles I wanted to pull up here that talked about the issue. No, Durham groceries are. Let me see. I can't find it. But anyway, but there was an article, a good article that I came across earlier that talked about how people are fleeing New York, of course, and a lot of people. And I've noticed this, and even some other people I follow. You know, a lot of people leaving the country, man, like never before. And so, like the Caribbeans is real hot right now, and of course, that's bringing up housing prices and real estate prices and on the island. So you're crowding out, you know, the locals in a lot of those islands because it makes it a lot more expensive. I said, let me see here. Great point. Read the contract. Okay, we got here. What else? So give me a call. Let's talk a little bit more. Check out those sites. What sites? What are we talking about? Acres going for mine silver. Land is cheaper than you think. A lot of people will let you own or finance. Oh, it's got another call here. Let's find out what's going on. All right, 1 second. All right, hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. What's up, man? It's Barlight Broker.
Barlight Broker. What's up, my man? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, I had some points I wanted to call in and touch home on. I don't know if anybody ever thought about any of this stuff anyways like this. I don't really want to drag any of them out really long, but the first one I wanted to go over was this race stuff that we have going on in our country right now as far as like, we'll just start with the word racist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people always say things like, oh, that's racist or things like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you actually know the true meaning of the word racist, it actually means one out for one's own race.
Mm.
It has nothing to do with being against other races or doing hateful things, you know, like clan things or things like that.
Yeah.
So they've actually taken the definition of it and changed it to their definition.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really think about it, man or woman is an animal, and like all other animals on this planet, we are all out for our own kind.
Mm.
Or I think we are.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we hate other people or other kinds of people. So technically, everyone is actually a racist.
Mm.
Well, that got me thinking about something else.
Okay.
I also watch this other channel. It's called High Frequency Radio. Have you ever heard of it?
High frequency. I don't think so.
You have to look it up. The guy's a genius.
Okay.
Black gentleman. He's got a bunch of gold chains on. He's cooler than a fan, man. You would absolutely love him.
Okay.
But his specialty is law.
Uh-huh.
He's a paralegal. And he's taken everything and he's basically figured out that everything that's going on is pretty much a plan by the devil, and it's to turn everything that's naturally God's to something that's unnatural, like the fluoride in the water, the stuff in our food, homosexuality, things like that.
Yeah.
And he, man, you got to check him out. And everyone else that listens to your channel, I'm telling you what, man, he is sharp as a razor, man.
All right, what's his name?
Really
Give his name again.
It's High Frequency Radio on YouTube.
All right.
His name's Yusuf L. Totally cool, dude. Totally cool. And the feminism and the LGBTQT, whatever it is,
Yeah.
same thing. Take something that's natural and turn it unnatural.
Yeah. Good deal.
But I just wanted to touch points on those and kind of get those thoughts kicking around everybody's head, and I definitely wanted to tell everybody about high frequency radio because he started off as a jailhouse lawyer and ended up being a paralegal, and then he's taken religion and law and our government, and he's researched the heck out of this. He has documents galore. You know, when sometimes somebody can tell you something and then the other people will say prove it, we've got the documents. He can actually prove it on paper.
Okay, yeah, I just pulled it up here.
You'll love it, man.
I will. So yeah, I pulled them up here on the screen, so I'll definitely check it out.
I wanted to say peace. Okay, I wanted to say peace out to everybody out there in the chat and everybody watching. For
sure, man. Appreciate you, my friend.
No problem, brother. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.
Yeah, good stuff there, man. High frequency radio. We'll definitely check that out. So yeah, give me a call, man. Let's talk. What else is out there? What else is going on that we need to talk about? And so one of the members on the Patreon reached out to me and informed me about something that Kerry Lutz did over at Financial Survivor Network. A little video about a situation in China that Kerry was mentioning it could be considered a black swan, and it happens to be about their dam, a big dam in a city or in a region over there, not too far from Wuhan or something like that. It's on the verge of collapsing, and if it does, it is designed. It's going to destroy a good several cities. And he was saying how that could be a black swan event that could lead to the crippling of the Chinese economy even more so, which would really cause problems with their desire to, I guess, lead the way in the next New World Order, whatever it might be, if that is their plan. And so who knows? But yet there's all types of things going on. And then also here's an article that I think is worth mentioning as well, because along the way, you never know what comes next. But here's something that can be of concern. Barlight Broker says, for that chain, of course. I appreciate you, my friend. Donate to the gold stash, the gold chain stash. It says U.S. sends carriers to South China Sea during Chinese drills. So once again, I apart from just the fact that the United States has always been established as the bully, the global bully on this planet. Once again, why are you sending carriers to Chinese drills when you weren't invited? So, yeah, it just instigating, man, starting trouble. So it's one of those things where all it takes is one little oops, or planned event, or a fake ship that just does something dumb. The next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. And then on top of the current world situation that we're all up against, or being told we're up against, we can also have some hot war. So all those things are in the mix. Let me see. It says Three Gorges Dam. Yeah, there we go. Roger. Bubonic plague is spreading in Chinese province of Mongolia, eating raw kidneys of a squirrel. Yeah, I heard about that too. So, man, so outside of and this is where I was thinking, one thing about having talked about stuff like this for several years now, I knew that in the 2020s I would experience it, but yet wasn't quite sure how it would play out. And so it appears at this current moment, outside of good news that you create for yourself, and of course the ultimate good news of Jesus Christ and his kingdom is here right now through his spirit inside of us type good news, there is not much else out there newsworthy that's really exciting right now. Some people might say, crypto's doing good, gold doing good, but yet that's to be expected because everything else is so damn bad. Right now, what is exciting news right now? That's where I'm trying to figure out. Anybody got some exciting news they want to call in and share with us? Feel free to do so. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Petty Money Bass, Saline, Texas. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. How you doing? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm all right. Man, there's two things I want to touch on. I want to ask you, do you know the question?
Okay.
The answer to them.
Okay.
When have you ever seen your president wear a mask during the COVID?
I want to say never. Or, the vice presidents as well, as of lately, he put on one for a couple seconds, but then again, decided to take it off as well. So, never.
Absolutely never.
Mm-hmm.
That should be mind-blowing to people like that. I mean, absolutely never. Like I tried to find it. Like there's nothing.
Right? There's nothing. So watch this. What that leads me to believe is that either he's in on the fact that this health situation is truly a hoax, or like I saw a little news clip that from months back, somebody referencing that they had already been vaccinated. So if it is something real, of course they already got the legitimate something or another that gives them a sense of comfort that they've already taken. So two sides. It's a hoax. 100% he knows about it, because now you're talking about testing. It's like if we stop testing so much, our numbers wouldn't be so bad. I'm thinking like, well, damn. First you want to test, now you don't want to test. Make your mind up, man. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, that's cool. Then the next thing I want to tell you that you mentioned earlier, you said, what would it take to get people to come out and storm the Capitol and all that good stuff?
Mm-hmm. What you got?
First thing, you have to unplug from social media. Man, they knew what they were doing when they created social media.
Yeah.
What can we do to vent people's frustration? Why do you think Donald Trump led the way with the Twitter wars? He was the Twitter king. Anytime there was frustration, he wanted to vent. Everybody starting to show he led the way with it. So now, like, anything of anger, you don't even have to leave your home. We control you. You have to, if you take a cord, like the cord that you plug into your wall, and they got the whole bunch of jacks plugged into it, and you plug like 8 people into it, plug 8 lamps in it. You have to unplug everything, man, to get people to come out. You have to cut off their TV devices and all that, make people wake up just like the golden days. Instead of walking to your mailbox and dropping off a letter, now it's just a click of a button in the palm of your hand. So people got to really wake up and be useful.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true, man. So like just the social media experiment, like, that's where Facebook, they've done studies saying that they intentionally try to see what they can throw out there to touch certain emotions in people. So I've witnessed it firsthand, where I remember seeing a complete news feed of all just complete violent stuff. And I'm thinking like, who the hell, like, I don't click on this stuff. Like, so why are they sending me this? And so that's the time where I go to top right, I click not interested or inappropriate, and I try to delete all that crap so that the algorithms know, I don't play that, man. I ain't going for that stuff. So social media, that's why it's free. They want to experiment on you. So if you had to pay for it, you can choose what you do and don't see. But when it's free, you can't really say much.
That is fact, man. I appreciate your time, man.
For sure, my friend. Be good. Good to hear from you.
No problem.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. All right, we got a couple more minutes. We're gonna dial back this evening. And so yeah, man, that's interesting. It's free for a reason. And that's another thing where social media, the way that it's been set up is that it's free because they use your metadata to make billions. They sell to you, make billions. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Mike. This is Avocado Joy from Tampa, Florida.
Avocado Joy, how you doing?
Oh, wonderful. I would just like to share with you and your viewers, I've been investing in really helpful books.
Okay. Share some with us.
During this time. So the most important book I just want to share tonight is by a wonderful man by the name of, and hopefully maybe some of your listeners will know, and I hope I'm saying his name right, Layla O. Africa.
Okay. Let me see here.
You spell that LAILA.AFRIKA.
All right, now I was trying to set the screen up, so do me a favor, start that over again. I'll get it up here.
Yeah. It's LAILA.AFRIKA.
Ooh, okay, that's
and the name of the book, he's the author, and the name of the book is The African Holistic Health.
Okay, let me see. So I see a website for him, I believe. Let me pop this up, and we will check this out. Dr. Layla of Africa.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, as soon as this pandemic came out, I went straight to this book because he addresses a lot of health issues that we are now experiencing. And he just talks about how long time ago, we as a human race, we did know how to take care of ourselves using natural herbs, living off the earth. And what happened is, our system got hijacked, and then we got indoctrinated into this European medical system.
Yeah.
And so he has a passage here. I just want to quickly read this section. It's called Cold and Flu.
Okay.
I think your listeners should hear this because, so I'll read it. Colds are a social term given to mucus congestion of sinus and or lungs. Colds are a bodily defense reaction to toxins or a polluted septic body system and or imbalanced body chemistry, minerals, vitamins, etc. The common, and this is very important, the common accepted belief is that one can catch a cold. A cold is developed, not caught. I'll say that again.
Okay.
A cold is developed, not caught. You cannot catch healthy.
Yeah.
By standing near a healthy person. You cannot catch a cold by contacting some strange bacteria or dead cell particle called a virus. I'm here to tell all your listeners, your lovely listeners, Mike, I've been listening to you since 2016, and I've been sharing your videos left and right. But the message I want to share with everyone, and I tell everybody this, is we cannot catch a virus or we cannot catch a cold. These are things that are developed from the external environment, and our body ends up developing the sickness because we are at a dis-ease within our body.
Okay. That's
so I like to compare the computers to the human body, right? Okay, so I'm a graphic designer. I'm a really serious tech geek, and computers do not catch viruses. What happens is a lot of our viruses end up coming onto our computer from malware, meaning basically the user of the computer has to select or basically make the choice of downloading that attachment or what have you, and then the computer ends up getting the virus.
Yeah.
And so it's just like if you go onto, I don't know, like a really shady site, right? And you see those pop-ups that, so you have a virus. You must scan your computer.
Yeah.
And then what some people that don't have proper knowledge will do is they'll click on it, and then next thing you know, you have then the virus, the attachment then that's going to download the virus into your system. Yeah. Computer cannot catch a virus. We cannot catch a virus. But how we can get the virus is through these vaccinations. That is the download we must choose not to accept onto our program, aka our body.
Right. I agree. Avocado Joy, I appreciate you for supporting the channel as well as calling in and sharing that wealth of knowledge. Thank you. And definitely I put this site up on here so people can see if they're interested in finding out more about the doctor here. So appreciate you for calling and sharing your thoughts.
Of course. Thank you, Mike, so much. Take care. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah, man. Good stuff there. You can't catch it. You got to just, interesting. So JS, I appreciate the love offered to the channel here. It says Tool released an album in 2019, end of August. Fear Inoculum. It says, we are still on track 1. Fear Inoculum. Read the lyrics. Might not be your normal style, Mike, but their music has always been genius. All right, Fear Inoculum. I would definitely check that out to the end of August. Fear Inoculum, okay. I will definitely check that out, JS. I appreciate you, my friend, for sharing that. Definitely, I'm sure there's a little hidden message within there that we can all find out more about. So thank you, my friend. All right, a couple more minutes. We're going to dial back here. Rolf says, what is the dark winter they keep talking about? The dark winter. I don't know. Beats for you to use. King D. I haven't really done any uploaded videos in a while to use the beats, so I don't think I would really be able to put them to good use for you. So I appreciate offering that. Dr. Africa says they should be dropping 50s, but what else we got here? Okay. I'll do it pay-per-view. All right, so I see something about Fauci. Yeah, I haven't seen him much apart from that little hearing where he talked about, of course, saying more stuff that the U.S. didn't respond fast enough. Expect the worst yet to come and all that stuff like that. They want us to continue to believe on top of the mutation stuff I mentioned earlier. So, yeah, man. But in the meantime, there's more than enough bad news or unpleasant news that's going to be presented on a daily basis. And so outside of that, we all know where we're at now. Now it's a matter of preparing as best you can and creating your own good news. And of course, trying to stay healthy. And so it's one of the things that is not talked about is the importance of physically taking care of your own body. So Avocado Joy mentioned some natural holistic ways that people can probably better protect themselves immune system wise. Exercise. That's one thing I've been trying to get back on. My wife is doing a good job of helping me to get back on track. She's more of the fitness person than I have become rather. So yeah, taking the right amount of vitamins and whatnot, drinking lots of water, exercising, just doing the practical things for my own physical health. And on top of that, surrounding all that with prayer, trusting that the Lord will definitely allow his will to be done in my life as it is in heaven. So anyway, with that being the case, that's all she wrote. About to get ready to dial back. Mike says, check bread. Don O'Connell work. He's hitting out the park. Don O'Connell. All right, I will definitely check that out as well. So a couple people worthy of checking out. I'll put that here so I don't forget to check that out. And then we will be back at it again tomorrow. Same time, same place. And also tomorrow, what I'm thinking about doing is trying to work in some midday give or take hot topics or whatever. So it'll probably be out, grab some articles. We'll connect again and go back and forth and go from there. So Melinda and Bill Gates had an interview recently, and they were suggesting this to start the vaccine with most vulnerable African Americans and Native Americans. Yeah, I saw that. I think it was Melinda Gates mentioned that, of course, those that are more impoverished might be best suited first because they don't have the financial means to whatever. And then they mentioned that, Black African Americans should definitely, be one of the first to get. I'm like, yeah, right. Anyway, that's just me. Anyway, people, it's been great hanging out. Appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to donate that thumbs up. Just hit the button right beneath this. Check out anything in the description for any of the resources. Also, make sure you check out rethinkingthedollar.com. During the day, I put some blogs there, whatnot, on different stories worthy of sharing. So that is all she wrote for this evening. Peace.